Okay, so someone said in the comment section, allow sweet connection of people in diverse places all over the world. One can monetize it too as well. Okay, monetization and then for connection. Okay, and Kenny said it's a cheap amplification channel for brand messaging. Okay, amplification channel. I like all your perspectives, right? And we're going to see how they all connect. So, why is social media important? So, there's this, I actually find this amazing. Just in January 2025, over 38.7 million Nigerians were active on social media, to be honest, in 1 month. And if they actually dig deeper, it's going to be more than this. So that means social media is where attention lives, right? If you want to get your people back to be on social media, you're aware, you know that. And another thing is for you to build a strong brand, whether your personal brand or for your brand, the your clients or your employer, you have to make sure you have to come correct online on social media especially. Because people look at it and they can say, oh, these people will be fraudsters. Oh, these people will be good to work with. Do you understand? So that stuff that we hear often is packaging. That's what you should do on social media. Package yourself well. What you It's not everything that you should show, is what you know will present you in the right way that you show. So this is something that we know for our personal brand, but it's also very important for businesses. Do you understand? Social proof is currency, yes. That's why influencers tomorrow are making huge sum of money. Do you get? So if you have built that identity on social media, connected with some people that gets you, that's it. Can start making good money from that connection. Brand affinity. This one is actually what is the most important thing for business now. At the beginning of, let me say, at the early stage of the advertising industry, right? What was important to businesses when they were doing the advertisements and doing all sorts of communications? What was important to them was stating the functional benefits of their products, of their services, right? But at some point, people started, then innovation was very new. So a lot of businesses did not innovate, right? I wish I had the slide to show you guys, right? So they were more or less talking about the, but at some point everybody started innovating. People had access to technology and they knew they had to change the way they communicated. They knew they had to change how things go. And they started communicating emotionally, where people are telling stories. You see someone running an ad for what do we call it? For airtime, like all these telcos. They are not telling you our network is, some of them will say our network is faster and all of that, but most times they are connecting with you emotionally. But now, almost everybody is doing emotional storytelling. So, what do you want to do? You want to connect with them, build a community, you want to increase brand affinity. That is what is happening now. That's why social media is important, because it's a tool for you to connect with your target audience. That's why people are building communities, right? So, what it is you're learning is so important, and they know, right? So, brand growth is actually very important. I can give you an example, like so many examples. A lot of people have forgotten about my dear. When the likes of LG, what do we call them again? Panasonic, we're already ruling the home appliances market. So they've seen that people had forgotten about them and they decided to, okay, let's do a relaunch in Nigeria. That was last year, around October, September, right? And then they said, okay, you guys should think of something. We had an event, yeah, but we wanted a lot of people to know. What did we decided to do? Oh yeah, let's use social media. Let's bring in our influencers so that they would. Someone mentioned amplification. Yes, so that they will amplify what it is that we we have done, so people know. And then we thought to ourselves, what kind of influencers are we going to work with? Which is some of the things we're going to discuss in the later lessons, right? How to choose, select the right influencer for your brand, right? And then this is what we did. If you look at the chart, the comment section, see people saying, "Oh, it's actually my dear." We actually needed to teach people how it's pronounced. People call it media, but it's not media; it is my dear. And we saw that the page grew from 8,000 to 8,000. It's currently 8,000, and they've been building it since then, right? So that this is an example of how social media can change it for a brand, and you already have seen it for different brands, personal brands or businesses. And that's why you're here to learn how to do that. Okay. Any question before I move on to you already know how important it is. I'm not even going to ask you, you know. All right. So now the next important thing is understanding your buyer persona. I know that you read this a couple of times, you might have even read it somewhere, but it still can be a bit confusing. Like, oh, what should I look out for? What should I understand when it comes to social media, when it comes to content? I put out a couple of things because actually so much to learn, right? But the important thing is you must know who you're speaking to. You must know who you're speaking to. Now, we have so many things to note about a person. We have the demographics, which you're already sort of aware of. You can see what is there, their age, where they're staying, and their income, and all of that, their job role. It's important to know these things so that you know the kind of content to put out there. When we get to that stage, you will see where these things fall, how they play. To be honest, there's nothing different about. So you have to come correct, connect with these guys in a way that no other person can, right? So that's why you must know how they think. For instance, how the um okay, let me not use that example. Okay, let me. I don't know if you have seen the social media ad that I put it. I wish I can quickly pull it, but you can look at it after this class. So there was something they did. Normally, like let's say when I was still a kid, if they do ads for all those cleaning agents or detergents, what they would use is a mother and children. And it's the mother that is in charge of looking after the children. Then that was the culture, right? That was the norm. But recently they did an ad and they're actually targeting millennials, right? So they did an ad and the parents were involved in the cleaning. That's a change. They paid attention to the psychography of their target audience. Gen X, that might not mean anything to them. But millennials, it means a lot to millennials. You can't say it's only the female that is in charge of cleaning or the wife. The men do it now. Men cook now. Do you get? So that's why it's important to understand the psychography of your target customer. So the kind of content you are putting out there, you must ask yourself, will it connect with my target customer, right? That's the important thing. Okay, so I want to quickly switch to my phone so it is easier for everyone. I don't want us to be losing out. I want to save as much time as possible. Okay, sorry, please. Mind me. This first class is a little bit rough. It's going to get better. Okay, almost setting up. Okay, Okay. So another very important thing to note is what culture they are currently plunged into. I've already given you the one where I said everybody is involved in in looking after the family, looking after the not then that they'll say, oh, the father go to work, provide for the family, the mother do that. You get so that kind of thing has changed. Another one that is trending is being a plant mom. I don't know if anyone knows that trend. Being a plant mom is not a big thing. Like Piggyverse actually brought plants to reward customers who did some things on the app. And people were rushing for it. Like people were so happy. Oh, I'm now a plant mom. Oh, I'm now a plant mom. It's funny, but it's a trend. So you need to understand the culture that is shifting. What's changing? There was a time that we actually were not proud wearing African attires or African outfits. We felt like we were Jew, like we were not in vogue. But at some point, people started getting confident, right? What's changed, like Afrocentric things are now being appreciated, our music and everything. So you need to understand the culture that they are currently plunged into. Get what slangs, what lingo do they use to communicate? It's very important for you as a content person, as a social media marketer, because that will help you do your work well. That will help you connect with them, right? Moving on. What else again do you need to know about your buyer persona? What trends have they jumped on? Remember the Chakam trend, remember the no turning back, all of those trends. It's not every brand that needs to jump on it, but your focus should be on your target audience and then on your kind of business, right? So you need to pay attention. So if you're not active on social media and you want to do this, you might need to adjust your, would I say, your interest, because you have to actually love being on social media. That's how you get to learn what people are connecting with and how other brands are doing social media marketing. Okay, another thing to note is what's a day in their life like. So can everyone just drop like where the industry they are working in so I can use it as an example? Just drop the industry you're working in so I can use it as an example so that we actually get the sense of what I'm talking about. Okay, I haven't seen any yet. Okay, maybe I should use my own, or is it my network that? Okay, education. All right, female reproductive health. All right, let me. You guys are everybody's within their own. Okay, don't worry. I will try and see what to say. Okay, let's start with education, the first on the list here, right? We said what's a day in the life of someone that will work in the education space. So let me assume parents, right? A working professional who is a parent. What's that person is your target, or maybe you're selling a course, or you're selling maybe learning materials, whatever it is you're selling. But your target or the one of your target audience or your buyer persona is a working professional who is living in an urban area like Lagos or wherever, right? And they're very busy. What do you want to know? What's their when they wake up in the morning? What time they wake up? 5 or 6? What do they do first? If they're professionals, most of them will most likely check their WhatsApp. Most of them might, some of them might check their emails. Some people want to wait till like after 8 to check their emails, right? So those are the things you need to know. So when they're on their way to the office, they're actually checking LinkedIn, Instagram, just to see what people is saying, or they check any news channel. So they are looking out for other things that interest them, like maybe business interests them, or investment opportunities interest them. So they are going to those publications to learn what is the recent news, or they are very concerned about health or the war that is going on now. Do you get what is Trump saying? No, Trump is dropping something almost every day. So do you get like those are things you want to know? What's their day in their life like? Now, when they get to the office, what do they do? Do they create? Do they work with this kind of tools? What do they do? So if they are working professionals, most times they're on their desktop, right? So those are things that you want to know. Those are experiences. So what is life like when they're in the office? Sometimes they are stressed, sometimes they are worried, sometimes they are anxious. That's where ideas of memes and all of those things come. Do you get? So that's just a rough one. If it's a female reproductive health, it's not really clear. I don't know, maybe you're offering consultancy services or you're doing I don't know what it is, but it's still the same thing that applies. What is the experience? Or if you're a consultant, right? You're working for someone that is a consultant, maybe an EA or whatever, you have to know what is that person's routine like, and that helps you to connect with them. Or if it's the patient, the mother, or something like that, you need to know what their routine is like. For media, music, and tech, media, let me say, what is their process like? How do they work? Most times they have to negotiate with client and all of that. If you have the people, if you have the expertise, like you have people to bring in, right, to give them some negotiations, trainings, and all of that, it helps them. Do you get it? So, but what is important is what is their life like? What is their role like? What is their routine like? That's what you want to do. But it has to be about your buyer persona, not everyone. So that's why it's important that you know who is your buyer persona. So just in case you're not clear who your buyer persona is, in simple terms, your buyer persona is someone who needs your service and can afford it. If they can't afford it and they need it, I'm not sure you get business. They have to afford it and they have to need it. And if they can afford it and they don't need it, you can do magic so that they will see that it's fine. You get the money. But most times they have to need it and then have the money to pay for it. You understand? Okay, let's move on because we still have a couple of things to look at. And who influences? Okay, sorry. Where do they spend their time online? So I'm still going to use our examples here. Where do they spend their time online? For female reproductive health, let's say you are targeting a millennial who wants to be a mother and she's having issue trying to conceive. So you want to get that people's attention that, oh, we actually have solutions for you. I'm assuming, but I don't know what it is you're for though, but I hope that this is relatable. So maybe the person is actually going through so many things. People are saying, go and try this, go and try that. Do you get? You can pull content from that experience. And again, sometimes where do they go to find information? There is this platform online. There's this Mayo on the Mayo Clinic or so. Like there's at some point, any question I ask about health, they will always be on the Google search page, the first page. I'm like, is it everything that they've answered? Do you get? So those kind of things can also be things you can create as bite-sized videos on social media to address what these things that they do. You know when they say Dr. Google, because people actually go to Google search their problems before they visit a doctor. So those are things you need to understand about what are their habits, what's their life like, where do they spend their time online. Do you get? Go there and see what the conversation is on Twitter, wherever, on Facebook groups about health, if it's media, if it's music, what are they saying? What kind of music are they vibing to? What they like about the music and all of those things. And then the same thing applies to tech education. Do you understand? So it's the same thing that applies. You just need to understand who you're dealing with and apply this foundational knowledge. The next one is who influences their decisions and who do they follow. This one is so important because at the end of it, you want them to make a decision and you want them to choose you. So what influence? I didn't even add a what, but what influences their decisions? So there are certain things that we in marketing that we call objections. Like what can make somebody say no, like I can't buy from this people. You need to make sure that you are not doing those things as a brand. You need to make sure. So it's very important. And you can know these things when you engage with your customers. All these things that I've asked like this, that we have listed, you can know them by engaging with your customers. You can't sit in front of your laptop and know these things, to be honest. You will find random things that are not relevant. You need to engage with your customers one on one. So I'm currently doing a project for a fintech, like I said from the beginning. And I had to phone call some of customers just to get their feedback on how they're using the app. Why did they leave? How did they leave? They're still using the app. Why are they still using it? That's how you get all this information and then say, oh, this is the problem. Okay, I should create a content to address this. I should do this on social media. If I do this video, they relate. Okay, I can twist it this way. That's how you begin to get content ideas, and you already have something to make you stand out as a brand. So another thing is who influences the decisions, not just what do you call it? Not just influencers. In a way, every one of us is an influencer, right? You have influenced somebody before, someone has influenced you too. So that's why any experience that you give your one customer can affect the next customer that is to come. And social media is a very useful tool. We use it aside doing content and engaging people. It's a very great place to get people's sentiments about your brand. Even make sure as a customer service person, you are doing a great job when you're engaging with them. Do you get? So that's that. And then who do they follow? Very important. Who do they follow? That gives you an idea of, oh, this is what they're interested in. So if you want to maybe shift from just doing organic content, you want to do ads, you pick that interest and then you target them correctly. You understand? Okay, I don't know if you have any questions so far before we move on to module 3. Any questions so far? I don't know if I'm too fast, but I'm actually watching out for time. Any questions so far, please? You can actually unmute and ask your question. Any questions? If you want me to go on, someone can just unmute and say, okay, we can move on. I just want to be sure that you all can still hear me. Okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, thank you. So the next module would be us looking at the social media strategy, an overview of what it is. So if they ask you if they ask you to come up with a social media strategy, so let me tell you the truth in this our space, in this industry, there is no one size fits all, in the sense that the way I do my work might not be the way someone else is doing their work. So there's nothing like, hey, this is the framework for everyone. You know how in medicine you can have like a process, and if you miss one step, you might fail the procedure or whatever. That's not applicable to marketing. The major thing is if you understand the principles well enough, you can, as you keep practicing, you can find a way different for yourself. Do you understand? But for me, these are some of the things that that's helped me to say, okay, this is the strategy, this is the way I'll communicate on social media for this brand, right? Okay, so let's go to it. The first thing is you want to link your strategy to a bigger marketing and business goal. So if you come to your employer or your line manager and show them that this is what we are going to do on social media, and you did not think about your goal for that month or that quarter or that year, if that person knows what they are doing, they will not take you seriously. Let me say, for instance, now your business say we want to double our sales, and then you come and give just engaging content and it's not cutting. They will ask, what are you trying to do? What is this? How is it going to bring business? Do you get? So you always have to link to bigger marketing, to the bigger marketing and business goals. To be honest, this is not far-fetched in the sense that, what do I mean by marketing goals in case you don't understand? So marketing goals are goals around, you want to drive awareness, you want to drive conversions. Conversions can mean different things. Maybe you want people to give you their information, their email address, their phone number. That's a marketing goal. That's lead generation, another marketing goal. We have another one, which is driving traffic. So for social media, you can decide that, oh, I want more people to come to my page. Do you get? Another one would can be you want to grow followership and all of that. But when we talk about marketing goal, most times it's around sales, it's around leads, it's around awareness. Those three. there's a session where we'll actually go deeper into these things, right? But for business goal, most times expansion, growth, increase in employees. Because if your business grows and increase the number of employees that they hire, that they pay salary, that's growth. And if they increase in revenue, that's growth. So those are things that that they want to hear. They want to hear that, oh, we actually got more sales through this. We actually got more people asking about our business through this content. Do you get? So those are, you must always link your social media strategy to this. Then the next thing you want to do is set SMART goals. Some of you have heard this acronym before, SMART, right? And what is it? It has to be specific. S, it has to be specific. M, it has to be measurable. That means we should be able to measure it, right? It has to be achievable. It has to be realistic, and it has to be timely. Now, when we say realistic, we mean look at your current situation. Now, let me give an instance a of a, a smart social media goal, right? Let's say you want to grow your LinkedIn followers by 5,000 in 3 months. You can see here that it is smart. It is specific, very specific. How do I mean by specific? LinkedIn is mentioned here. And under LinkedIn, there are so many other things you can achieve. But I've mentioned that it is followership I want to increase. So if you say I want to grow LinkedIn by 5,000, it's not clear. It's not clear. So there are so many things you can achieve on LinkedIn. Either you want to grow your engagement, increase your engagement, you want to get more people to send you DMs and all of that. But it has to be very specific. It has to be measurable. At least at the end of 3 months, you can know that, oh, if we don't hit 5,000, we did not reach our goal. Then the 3 months is a time bound. It's telling us that, oh, this is the time, the period we must achieve this. And achievable means, if you look at where are you now, to be honest, you can't be in 500 and you want to go to 5,000, except you have the resources or want to do something magical to get there. You understand? And that's where realistic also comes in. So you look at your present resources. How much do you have? How many network that do you have? Do you have the network to pull it? Do you have the team to go? So if this is your personal brand, are you the one that is going to execute the strategy and all of that to achieve this goal? If it's your business, are you the only one that is the content creator, the social media manager, the everything that wants to achieve this goal? So it has to be smart. You get. Now, moving on. Once you are clear on what you want to achieve, the next thing, choose the right platform. You don't have to be everywhere. I don't know if some of you were like me. I created threads because everybody was creating threads. But you don't need to do that, to be honest, right? So you have to choose the right platform. Now, I'm actually more focused on my LinkedIn and my Instagram because those are the platforms that I know, okay, I can actually, connect with people more and add more value, right? So you have to choose the right platform for yourself. And in choosing the right platform, you already have engaged on this platform, so you know what's here. For LinkedIn, job, anything that has to do with job, networking, thought leadership, LinkedIn is the place. Anything that has to do with visual storytelling, building your brand, building your products, Instagram is the place. Anything that has to do with sharing your opinions, gaining authority, and positioning yourself. That's why I see a lot of politicians active on Twitter. To be honest, if you're in politics and not on Twitter, you have not started. To be honest, because that's where people drop their opinions and begin to say all sorts, right? Then TikTok, viral reach, behind the scenes, relatable storytelling. You already know this because most of you are active on these platforms. Then, if you want to be a community, I am still on Facebook, but I'm not active there. I'm just putting my content there because I feel like some people still enjoy it, right? So Facebook, people, I don't know how many Gen Zs do. If you're Gen Z in the room and you still use Facebook actively, just drop an emoji. I just want to know. Gen Z's in the room. Are you guys still there? So does that mean none of you on Facebook? Blessing, Caleb, Austin,
Ma'am.
Eniola. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so I'm guessing it's only Austin that is on Facebook. Wow. So my guess is right. Okay, so I don't know. Oh, Gina says she's not Gen Z, but are you all active on Facebook? Okay, you're active on Facebook. All right, all right. But it's fine. Who else said it's on? Oh, Caleb. Okay, I only manage Facebook. Okay, for someone, not your own, right? All right. So I just observed that a lot of the older folks are on Facebook, right? And but let me ask a question. What is Snapchat for? You can drop it in the in the comment section. I've already mentioned what do we call it? What the social media platforms are, what they are known for, what they are very good for. So for Snapchat, okay. Okay, use Facebook for only work for a brand. Okay. Okay, Blessing says she's not active on Facebook. Oh, all right. Snapchat, what do you think we people use Snapchat for? Snapchat and Threads. If you're on Threads though, please you can drop it in the comment section before we move on. We are not actually a lot here. You can actually unmute yourself and say it. Okay. You guys are still typing. Okay. You can drop that later. What's Snapchat? Because I'm not giving any answer. So you can drop it. Let's know what you think Snapchat is meant for. Okay. But if you don't know Snapchat, it's fine. You can just give a okay for taking pictures. All right. Who else again? All right. Let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing you want to do when you're building a social media strategy is social listening. You want to listen to the conversations that are happening. What are people saying about either your brand or your competitors or the industry? You want to listen. And from there, you can build a strategy and say, okay, this period, this is how we are going to come on social media. Do you understand? So very important that you pay attention to what people are saying on social media about your industry. So I've already mentioned this. So follow conversations about your industry, your competitors, and your target audience's problems, right? So you see how when Labubu was a thing, a lot of people were just giving analogy, oh, how Labubu was able to grow their business. I don't know if you guys knew of Labubu. Yeah, everybody was trying to explain why they blew, right? So those are some of the things that you might want to pay attention to if it matters to your brand. Okay. And it's just in case you are thinking, how do I now start doing this thing? Twitter is a great place for you. I use Twitter a lot for research, especially when I'm working on a marketing strategy. I use a lot for research. You get to see how people are thinking, and you can build a strategy from just a tweet, to be honest. Or you can also monitor hashtags that are relevant to your industry. Just by doing that, you know what people are thinking and you get ideas there and say, okay, this is how we should position this period, this is what we should communicate. All right. Any questions? Now the floor is open. You can unmute yourself and ask your questions. Wow.
Good evening.
Hi, you guys. Okay. Good evening.
Me, I don't have a question.
Tina.
I want to ask that all those slide, is it going to be sent to us via email?
Okay, yes, I can send them, but I would say because at some point we were actually cutting, the network was failing. So I would have
Mm,
preferred sending a recording of this session. But let me see. I can share the slides too.
okay.
Okay, any question? Any question? Okay, so I have a couple of questions. I'm guessing you guys already understood what we did this first class. So I would like you to take note of conversations that we train next week and note them down and answer the following questions. So the first one is, which demography is leading the conversation? I've already mentioned demography while we were discussing. And what did the trend teach you about that demography? So when trends happen, don't just say, oh, people are jumping on it. As a marketer, as someone in the social media and content.
I don't know. I Faith, I can't hear you. I don't know if I'm the only one that can't hear anything.
I also cannot hear.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Oh, sorry. So where did you
Yes, we
stop?
can.
Like what was the last thing you heard?
I heard about your explaining about the demography that you had. Like you were saying that you had explained it before now, so that we should just relate to it.
Okay, okay. So thank you. Thank you, Austin. So what I was saying is take note of the conversations that we train next week. Note them down and answer the following questions. Which demography is leading the conversation? What did the trend teach you about that demography? Because this is very important for you as a marketer or someone that will manage social media or content. That's how you come up with content ideas. You will not wait for someone to do something or a trend before you jump on it. You want to also have your own ideas. You want to have a strategy. So that is what will set you apart. But the more you know about your customers, the better it is for you. So don't just look at trends and say, oh, my people are jumping on these trends. What is it teaching you about your target customer? Okay, let me give you an example. Um, what I don't know if you guys were aware of Chakam trend. I think that was last 2 months ago, right? So people wanted people to be truthful. People wanted to hold people to their words. But you know that what that taught me, what I saw, it can mean differently for you. But what that taught me is that a lot of people are not truthful, to be honest. And they will rather have an evidence so that when you deny, they have something to show. So like the rate at which people lie has increased. The next just to buttress this point, the next trend, like 2 or a month after, was I lied that I'm a dash dash dash. They asked me to do this and then I was messing up. I don't know if you guys saw that trend. The people were just doing all sorts of things. Some said they were graphic designer, they said they should do watermark, and they were sprinkling their laptop water. So these things teach you and give you insight to how people think. Do you get? So it's not a little thing because this work, the work we do is actually psychology. It's actually how people think and how you can bring what is in their mind to your brand. The conversation that is going on in their head, how can you connect to that conversation and bring it to your brand? Achalugo, for instance, now, when Achalugo trended, different brands jumped on it. Coca-Cola jumped on it few months after, but it still works for them because people saw that. Now, I don't know if you guys are following Lush. Lush Air, if you see what they are doing now, they are doing things around soft life. Why are they doing soft life? They paid attention. Do you know people have said so many things about soft life, soft life, soft life for almost more than a year? And they thought to themselves, come, let's play around with this thing, soft life. And a lot of people are connecting with it. It's not only women that want soft life, sorry, soft life. Guys who want soft life, not only Gen Zs. Millennials too are like, we also want soft life. Gen X, those ones too. So this is what, when you see some of those content, those things out there, they're actually listening, they are watching, they are paying attention, observing, learning about the customer. And that's how they come up with ideas that you know, like, wow, that was nice. You get, so that's actually our job, to learn more about the customer every day. Like I said, you can't know this thing by sitting in front of your laptop. You have to engage with your customer, engage with your target audience, have a conversation with them. If you work in a big team where you have customer success or customer service, they should be your party because they will tell you what customers are complaining about and what customers are actually hailing your brand for. If customers are hailing your brand for something, make sure you jump on it so hard, do different kind of content and put it out there. So when someone that does not know you before comes here and sees that thing, that's something that can sell them. So it's actually your job to engage the customer, get to know them better, the conversations that are going on online, even the ones that they have not put online. By engaging them, you will know. You get. So that's actually what it is that we do. Learning about the customer and maximize using it to communicate something engaging and creative on social media. So I don't know if I've been able to help you today. And I hope that this assignment is clear. It will actually help you open your mind to different ways people think and help you just see things beyond enjoying content. You are seeing how to engage with people. But if you think I should discuss a particular phrase or something more better, please, this is the point. Everyone is learning. Don't think anyone will shame you or something. It's all right if you don't know. That's how we actually learn, right? So I just hope you're clear. If you need me to address something, please, you can say it now before we end the class. Okay, I'm guessing everyone is fine and clear. This my class is too quiet. Oh, I'm sorry. I love energy. Especially if you're in the content or social media space, you have to have energy. Maybe everybody will unmute. I'll start from the name I'm seeing here. Okay. Hi, Kenny. Is Kenny there? Okay. While he's trying to unmute his mic, Austin.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Um, Everything, but I don't know if I can get the PowerPoint so that I can go over it and then try to work on the assignment too.
Okay, fine. I'll share.
Thank you so much.
Oh, what are your key takeouts from this session? Like, what would you say? Oh, this is what I learned from this session.
Okay. I've actually I learned about how social media has like really evolved from just the normal chatting, the day-to-day chatting to okay, like you creating a brand around social media, and then think for me, I'll try opening a Twitter account and see how I can also like be more open to the world, kind of, because I know if I would want to work on this assignment, I will not just limit myself to maybe a particular social media. I need to like really work on Twitter so that I can work on it like effectively. So I've got a lot from the class, especially knowing about content and then how I can like maybe create a brand. I believe with time I should be able to do something for myself too when it comes to content marketing or branding as regard social media.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, Austin. Thank you. All right. Caleb, what will be your key takeouts from this session?
Good evening.
Hi.
Good
Good
evening,
evening.
everyone. Yes, thank you for today's section. I love the way you actually explained everything, even though the network was kind of a challenge from my end and from your end too. But I'm actually a social media manager, so almost everything you said, I'm actually used to it. So working with friends and the likes. But I love the way you broke it down for all of us, and I think it'll be easier for me to work with it now. And I have a question too. Can I ask?
Sure, you can.
Okay, is there a WhatsApp group for us? And for
Okay,
this trend,
so
and for this, I'm coming. For this trend,
okay,
is it every social media? I work,
for the
I
assignments.
manage, yes, I manage TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. But I'm not always active on Facebook because once I post on Instagram, it goes to Facebook. So I hardly open Facebook. I use business tweets to just check.
Okay, so I'm not
So,
going to limit you guys to a
okay,
particular social media platform. I would
okay,
have recommended Twitter because trends, you can easily see what's trending there. You don't need to even do too much. Just go to what's trending and then you see different conversations, right?
okay,
It's easier. But if you are not comfortable with Twitter, you want to try another platform, it's fine. But I would
okay,
recommend Twitter because it's easier for you to see all the conversations.
okay. No problem.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Caleb. All right, Blessing. Hi. Can you hear us?
Yeah, sorry. I actually been going in and out in the kitchen there, but at least I was paying attention. So one key takeaway for me that I learned today, because which is something I've not been putting into practice in all my content creations and all, which is that importance of social listening. Actually, though I've heard about that term listening, but I've not really been, because it takes someone that would know how to be online all through. Because that's what I've always seen it as. You have to be online to hear what is happening, and also my content and has always been based on the usual. This is the industry. This is what is expected for you to post. This is what is expected for you to generate. So, but from what you have explained now, it's now boils down to, okay, what is usually the norm?
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing, Blessing. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. So back to you, Kenny, before I'll just drop the last things I'll say. What do you say is your key takeaway from this session? Okay. I don't know if you have a network issue, but you're muted. Okay. Maybe when he's back up. All right. So thank you all for your feedback. And I just wanted to be sure that I wasn't going too fast and I was passing the right message. So it's good to know. Now I have a sense of the people that are in the room. So we have those who have actually created content at some point. If you have posted on WhatsApp, you're a social media manager, right? But we want to take it notches higher. Like, let's not do the regular. Let's actually be strategic about it so we can get the results that we seek, whether for your personal brand or for someone's business, right? And thank you for sharing your feedback. And one thing I want to leave out is, or I want to leave with you guys is, this thing is not a big thing per se. It's not something that you should overthink. It's very close to you. Just open your mind. As you're engaging with people normally, right? You would have content ideas. Just be very observant of your environment. Be very observant of human behavior. Whether they are your customer or not, just pay attention. How they are behaving, how they are, just act like a detective at all times, not in a bad way, but you want to learn because that's what makes the difference. Do you know that Netflix launched socks? Netflix was, I think, 2 to 3 years ago or so. I can't remember the year. They launched it when they paid attention to their customer that, oh, some of them used to binge watch. Binge watch means they watch and sleep off. So they now said, okay, if you're on socks, you might be a bit warm and not sleep off. That's paying attention. The reason why they put some of this, what do we call it, machine learning and some of this algorithm reading your conversation, and now that we're saying something about social media and all of that, don't be shocked when you start seeing trainings, social media trainings on your ads on your timeline. They're paying attention to our conversations, except you put it off, right? They are actually trying to learn about you, and they will test different things. That's how you get your business. That's how you get sales for your brand. Pay attention. Do you understand? So that's actually the key message I want to pass today. It's not any big deal. While you are doing it, you understand your own process, how you work, but the major thing is observation. And once you have that data, how do you now make sense out of it and say, okay, this is how I want to do this content. This is what I want to post this period. Do you get? So we'll actually look at those things in coming sessions. But definitely the next session will be better, which is tomorrow by 5 p.m.